Hello folks, my name is Mayank Dwivedi. Let's start with Lecture 1, Part 2, Sources of History. In this part, we are going to talk about archaeological sources. Let us start with archaeological sources. Beginning from the first phase of human life, an immense amount of archaeological evidences have been gathered through excavation and exploration. And these evidences constitute a very important source of understanding of human life in Indian subcontinent during the ancient age. And this archaeological excavation commenced around middle of 19th century, we can say. And archaeologists such as Alexander Cunningham were in forefront of it, and their efforts brought light to many hidden dimensions of life in Indian ancient age. So we can use it as introduction part in our answer writing too. First thing first, what we are going to cover as archaeological sources. First, inscriptions. Second, coins. Third, pottery. Fourth, monuments. Fifth, tool and implements. Sixth will be toys. Seventh will be ornaments. Eighth will be food grains. Ninth will be skeletons and remains, etc. So let's start. As a question asked previously in UPSC, what are the significance of inscriptions as sources of history? So we can give an introduction. What are inscriptions? Starting with the definition of epigraphy. What is epigraphy? Epigraphy is the branch of knowledge that study inscriptions. Then we can start about introduction of inscriptions, how we got them, and from where and when we have them. As we know, from the beginning of Harappan civilization, number of inscriptions have been discovered belonging to different period of ancient age. And these ancient inscriptions throw light on socio-culture, economic and religious life of the people. We can divide the whole answer as subject matter like material culture, political boundary, language, dynasty, titles, politico-administrative institution and their practices, socio-cultural life of the ancient age, religious life of that time, economic life of the ancient age, welfare measures taken by the state, and last will be war and the battles. Let me describe them. The object used in writing of these inscriptions help us in understanding the material culture of the age. For example, the Harappan civilization used steelite, which is a precious stone, as writing material. During the Mauryan age and the later period, the stone and copper plates are used for writing these inscriptions, which tell us that Mauryans have command over the copper metallurgy. The place of discovery tell us about the political boundaries of the kingdom. For example, the discovery of Ashokan edict at Kandahar indicates that the Afghanistan was within Mauryan Empire. Similarly, the edict found from Nepal, Tarai, indicates that the Mauryan Empire was extended up to the foothills of Himalayas in north. For example, Lumbini, Nepal, and Tarai region, as I said, etc. Language. Inscription help us in understanding the language and script of the age. For example, Ashokan inscription inform that Prakrit was the most common language and Brahmani was the most common script during the Mauryan age. Names, title and other details of the ruler. These details help us in reconstruction of early Indian history in chronological manner. For example, the Mauryan history would have remained incomplete without Ashokan inscriptions, and the true greatness of Samudragupta, who ruled during 330 AD to 380 AD, would have remained unknown without Allahabad pillar inscription. And light on politico-administrative institution and their practices. For example, Ashokan inscription. In Ashokan inscription, it contains designations and responsibilities of various officials. Important source for understanding the socio-cultural life of the ancient age. For example, the Iran inscription 510 AD provide first record of reference of sati. So basically, the sati which has started around 500 AD. From the Iran inscription, we came to know that the sati practice was started around 450 to 500 AD, and its first recorded reference was in it. Many inscriptions contains details of donations issued to temples and monasteries, and these inscriptions throw light on religious life of the ancient age as well. For example, Ashokan inscription helped us in understanding the religious life of the Mauryan period, as Ashoka was follower of Hinaya Buddhism. And for example, the Maura village inscription which is near Mathura, throw light on Bhagavatism. inscriptions as source of understanding the economic life of the ancient age. For example, according to Lumbini, which is the birthplace of Buddha, Emperor Ashoka reduced the rate of land revenue for this village from 1/4 to 1/8. This village was declared free from bhoga, which was ceremonial gifts given by the village to the state. Welfare measures. These inscriptions contains detail of welfare measures taken by the state. Like, for example, Ashokan Rock Edict, it informs us about the tree planted along the roads, wells were dug, and the rest houses, which we called as inn, were built for benefit of travelers. According to Junagar rock inscription of Rudra Damana, who was a Shaka ruler, Sudarshan Lake was built by Chandragupta Maurya, and it was later repaired in reign of Ashoka, then in reign of Rudra Damana. War and battles, the last one. For example, according to 13th major rock edict of Ashoka, Kalinga was conquered by him in 9th regional year, and Allahabad inscription of Samudragupta provided in detail the description of his military achievements. Coins. Let's take it also as a question. In a previous year, a question was asked, what are the significance of coins as a sources of early Indian history? So, we can start with the history of coinage in Indian subcontinent, which was commenced during 6th century BC, when the punch-marked coins began to be issued. And these early coins were irregular pieces of silver having various symbols punched on them. The system of proper coinage commenced in 2nd century BC, and the Indo-Greek coins were the first to be issued. The coins having the name of kings, effigy, and dates, titles, etc. The punched coin were having little historical significance because these coins tell us about material culture and the history of 2nd century BCE. But the coin after 2nd century BCE gained immense historical significance. Numismatic, it is a branch of a study of coin. Historians like Parmeshwari Lal Gupta relied on the information provided by coins in reconstruction of early Indian history. So, for body, we will follow the same pattern. First, we will go with material culture. The method used for making the coin through the light on the material culture of the ancient age. The coin were issued in gold, copper, silver, lead, etc. by the ancient rulers. Then second, the name of kings, dates found on the coin help in chronological reconstruction of early Indian history. The chronology of Gupta rulers is almost entirely dependent on the information provided by the coins, also throw light on military achievements of various rulers. For example, the Ashwamedha type of coin issued by Samudragupta provides information about his great military conquers. The Tiger Slayer type of coin issued by Samudragupta informed that he conquered eastern India, that is Bengal, because tigers were found in Bengal. Third one, the religious ideas and belief. The coins also help in understanding the religious ideas and the beliefs. For example, Kushana coins contains various names of Indian and Iranian ladies, effigy of goddess Durga, Garuna, peacock, symbol found on the Gupta coins, help in understanding the religious life of that age. Territorial extent, the fourth one. The place of discovery of the coins help us in understanding the territorial extent of the kingdoms and the empires. Example, the coins extracted from Bengal tell us the Bengal was part of the Gupta Empire. The fifth number, the purity of coins reveal the economic prosperity of that particular time period. The extent of coin is formed also through the light on level of trade and commerce. If more coins are discovered during a particular time period, it becomes clear that the trade and commerce were developed in that state. Punity or lower number of coins reveals that the state of trade and commerce was in decline in that state. The next and last one, language and script. So coins also helped in understanding the language and script of that particular time. So this is all for coins. Let's take another question. Comparative significance of archaeological sources over literary sources in reconstruction of early Indian history. In this answer, we are going to take all those limitations of the literary sources and use them as the significance of the archaeological sources. First, interpolation and extrapolation. Archaeological sources are free from the challenges of interpolation and extrapolation because any attempt to change the content of inscription or coins can be easily identified. Because of this, archaeological sources are more reliable than 99% of human history. Literary sources is silent for more than 99% of human history, and in Indian subcontinent, because no literary sources is available before 1500 BC, which is pre-Vedic age, So most of the ancient history is reconstructed through archaeological sources. The chronological details. The archaeological sources provide far more accurate chronological details when compared with literary sources because time period of archaeological sources can be ascertained through radiocarbon dating method. Archaeological sources provide on-the-spot information. These sources reveals the life as it existed in the past. Because of this, history reconstruction through archaeological sources is far more accurate and complete. Personal bias. Archaeological sources are free from personal bias found in literary sources because sources like monuments, coins, and other artifacts provide exactly the same information as was there when these monuments were built or the coins were circulated. Content of inscription are also free from personal bias of writers because most of these inscriptions were issued by state and at that time were also seen by the people. The true knowledge of science and technology, art and architecture. It can be said that the evidences collected from the archaeological sources tell us about the science and technology of that time, what are the art and architecture techniques were used at that time. Archaeological sources are free from class of prejudices. These sources do not differentiate between elites and commoners. They reveal the picture of a particular time period as it was without any distortion. Archaeological sources provide multi-dimensional picture because the socio-religious, political, economic life, etc. of that time can be comprehended simultaneously through the examination of these archaeological sources. This is especially true when towns and cities are excavated. For example, urban civilization. The stratigraphic analysis is possible only in archaeological sources. This helps us in understanding the comparative chronology of different phases of human life. Let's talk about limitations of these archaeological sources. As in many occasions, the archaeological sources have been interpreted by archaeologists or historians. Because of this, there is a possibility of misinterpretation of archaeological evidences. Archaeological excavation produce immense amount of data, so handling of these kind of data and the preservation is a complex challenge. Archaeological excavation and exploration are time-consuming processes. It takes a long time in development of true picture of a particular phase on the basis of archaeological evidences as there is a large number of archaeological evidences and data. So that's it for this question. This is the second part of the lecture first. I will see you tomorrow in the third part and the last part of the lecture first. If you found this video informative, please share it with your friends. Thank you. Mayank Devedi, signing off.